And this usually includes tuition, textbooks, supplies, all that stuff that's not just like your tuition. And on top of all of this, it actually includes a round trip ticket to your home country every year. So guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for coming around today to see what I have for you. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing with you guys 2 colleges that I have researched and I think would be really nice, scholarships, financial aid, and all that jazz. I really wanted to get more than 2 colleges. However, it's hard to find, to like really do your research and find something that kind of fits into the idea that you have in your head. Like, for example, I'm looking for something that has like a significant amount of scholarship and or like full aid, and so like it's just it takes a lot of research to look into that. And so I was able to find this too, and I thought instead of just waiting until I find so many, I'll just share with you guys already. So the first one we're going to be talking about is Gettysburg College. So Gettysburg College is a liberal arts 4-year college in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. So yeah, it's a 4-year college. They don't offer any masters. I'm going to talk about another school that offers masters in after this one. So just stay with me. And so Gettysburg is about an hour to Baltimore and 90 minutes to Washington, and it's also near Philadelphia. So it's got about 2,600 students, including international students from up to 38 countries. So they do have like a diverse population, even though it's a small college, like 2,600 students. Gettysburg College is highly competitive for financial aid. So like I feel like the reason they say stuff like this is just so you're aware, you know what you're going for, and you kind of really make yourself a competitive candidate when you're applying. Don't just think it's just going to be handed over to you. So you want to be really competitive when applying. So aid at Gettysburg is generally need-based, and so they look at your need for financial assistance. However, after that, they also look at your academic achievement, your potential, and things like that. So it's really important for you to present yourself as someone that is really, I guess, good academically, and not just someone that needs something financially. You have to be the whole package pretty much. When Gettysburg College gives aid, the aid can come in different forms. It could come in form of like grants, which is just like tuition waivers or like scholarships, stuff like that, and it'll also come in form of like that in combination with like some loans, some work study program where it's like you work on campus to kind of pay off some parts of your tuition and whatnot. So basically they're giving you financial aid, but it can come in different forms, like a combination of different things. So just so you're aware when you receive it, you're not like surprised. So for the application process, I'll go through the things that are required, like the deadlines and things like that, but it's your responsibility to go to the website, which I'll link in the comments in the description section, to go and like really go like do full detailed research on it to see for yourself, because I'm just gonna give highlights here. So they have 3 deadlines. They have the November 15th one, January the 15th, and December 1st. So all these deadlines mean different things. It's like the early decision, early action, stuff like that. So if you're confused on what those things mean, you can do a quick Google search and it will tell you. But if you're still confused, you can ask me in the comment section. I'll be happy to kind of clarify what any of those deadlines mean. Also, Gettysburg College has no application fee. There's just no application fee, and also you don't even need a waiver. So it's not like, oh, you have to request a waiver. And they use the portal called Common Application. So just like how you have like Coalition and like different websites to apply for admission, they use the Common Application. Another requirement that you're going to need is your school records, obviously, like your transcripts, and you're also going to need a recommendation letter from your teacher. You're going to need a recommendation letter from your counselor. I wanted to clarify that counselor in America is very specific to like a specific person in the high school that is, has the position of a counselor. And so if you don't have that kind of thing in your school, being an international student, I would say like look for someone that has that kind of position in your life, like maybe your mentor, your school principal, I guess, maybe your pastor, someone that has that position of, I guess, being a counselor in your life to write you a recommendation letter. So for your test scores, SAT or ACT is actually optional for this college. So if you decide to submit your SAT or your ACT score, you can submit it yourself when you're applying if you don't have like the official test scores sent directly from the agency. But by the time you get accepted, you have to submit the official scores from the testing agency, so just bear in mind. I think that if you have it, you know, if you have it, just submit it. If your score is okay, submit it, because at the end of the day, it just gives them more things to look at when considering you as an applicant. It just, things like that always just make you more competitive. However, if you don't, you know, it's okay, just still apply. That's kind of what they're saying here. So for English proficiency, you do need to submit your IELTS, your TOEFL, or your Duolingo, and the other, you know, any of the other exams. So the list of the ones you can submit is on their website, so make sure to go check that out, as well as the minimum scores. They're all listed on their website. You do need to submit one of those. However, if English has been the language of instruction in your classroom for at least 2 years, then you do not need to submit an English test result. Also, if English is your first language, depending on where you're from, you also do not need to submit a test result. So at the end of the day, if it applies to you that you do not need an English test result based on your background, then you have to send an email to them to request a waiver. So there's the information on their website for how to request the waiver. Every applicant to Gettysburg College must also submit an international financial statement. So regardless of whether you're requesting aid or not, you must submit an international financial statement. The information to submit that is on their website. And if you specifically require financial assistance, that means if you're applying for aid, there is a form, which is the financial aid application, that you're going to fill during the application process. So make sure you also check that out. And finally, the last requirement on my list for this college is an interview. So it's not necessarily a requirement, because you're not, like, you don't have to do the interview. However, they really encourage it because it gives you the opportunity to really express yourself and for them to learn about you beyond paper. Because I mean, there's only so much you can write down, but when they get to talk to you, it's like you really can say much more. They also especially encourage it if English isn't your first language, because you might not be able to express everything you're trying to say about yourself on paper. But if you, like, you know, if you do a virtual interview, which they offer, then you can express yourself better and obviously make the process better in terms of assessing you as an applicant. Yeah, so that's pretty much the process for Gettysburg College. It's, you know, it's worth the try. If you're interested, go ahead and check their website below. Yeah. Okay, the next school I'm going to be talking about is Williams College. So Williams College is a liberal arts college also in Williamstown, Massachusetts. So it's generally a 4-year college. However, they offer 2 master's programs, and that's what I was saying that I was going to talk about later. They have 2 master's program in history of arts, as well as the master's program in policy economics. So if you're interested in any of those 2 masters, check it out. I will talk a little bit about it at the end of this video. Like, this video is more focused on the undergrad, so I don't really want to delve too much into the masters. I probably will make a master's video at some point in the future, but if you're interested, definitely stay tuned to the end, and also check out their website for more information. So this college has been making the wave because they recently announced that they're going to be giving an all-grant financial aid to students who receive aid whenever they get admitted into the college. So this means pretty much that all aid that students receive are going to be grants. So they're not going to be like loans. It's not going to be employment. It's just going to be full grants where you don't have to pay anything back. You don't have to do anything to kind of like get it in that sense, I guess. So I guess that wasn't the case before for them. For international students, this school offers aid to about 60% of their international students that are accepted. And this usually includes tuition, textbooks, supplies, you know, all that stuff that's not just like your tuition. And on top of all of this, it actually includes a round-trip ticket to your home country every year. So like, you better jump in this. So with Williams College, aid is not automatic. You pretty much have to apply for aid when you're applying to the college. It's kind of similar to Gettysburg, which I just spoke about. So if you are interested in getting the full aid, you have to apply and, you know, I guess, meet all the requirements. I'm gonna go over the application process and requirements so that you kind of know if it works for you or not. And so for this college, you have 2 deadlines. You have the November 15th deadline as well as January the 9th. Always make sure to go on the website to read more about like each of these deadlines and to see which one works best for you. Another thing that's really nice about this school is that their application requirements are pretty much the same for international students, and it's all just like nothing is really different. So the idea for them is that every country has different systems and stuff like that. So they're trying to make sure that they analyze everyone like equally and with the same requirements and all of that. For the application process, the portal that they use is Common Application, which I already talked about for guesswork. So Common Application, and they also use QuestBridge application. So more information about that on their website. You can request a fee waiver because they do have an application fee of $65. However, if you cannot afford a $65 application fee, you can go ahead and request a waiver during the application process on Common or QuestBridge application, so that way you do not have to pay an application fee. English proficiency test results are not required. However, if you have one and you want to submit your result, go ahead and submit it. That's what they say, because at the end of the day, it's always nice, like I always say, to give them more things to consider when considering you as an applicant. What they do is that they use your application to assess your English, proficiency. So pretty much the way you write during the application process is how they assess your English proficiency. Another requirement is your school report. Of course, you always need your school report. You do need your counselor recommendation, so 1 counselor recommendation. So you also need 2 teacher recommendations. You also need your mid-year report. So this mid-year report doesn't actually apply to everyone. Mid-year report is for people who are applying to the college when they're still in high school, like in their last year of high school, they're applying. So that means that you don't have all your school transcripts like till the very end. So you've submitted the ones from previous years, but then you still have to show them that you're still doing well. So after you've submitted your application by like any of the deadlines, which is like the latest is the 9th of January, then you have till the 8th of February to submit your mid-year report, so that way they are updated on your academic performance as a student. The other thing that they require is a short write-up of about 150 to 300 words, and it's pretty much you just responding to a prompt that's on their website. And the prompt is pretty much like, write about your experience meeting someone with a different identity, a different country of origin, a different culture from you, so that I guess they just kind of get to see how you think, and they also get to assess your English, as they previously said, because they're not requiring you to do an English test. So there are other things that they list as additional application documents, so you do not have to submit these things, but it would be nice to submit them, which is pretty much your SAT, your ACT score. Any of those, they're optional, so you don't have to submit it. However, like I always say, if you have something to prove yourself to them even more, make sure to always submit it. They also say that if you have a well-developed talent that you would like to share with them, feel free to submit your portfolio with them, so they're interested in seeing what you have going on besides your academics. And finally, if you have experience with scientific research, you've done like a paper. I mean, some people get into that really early, like from high school, depending on who is like their teacher and stuff like that. So if you've been kind of into that and you have something to show for it, like a paper and abstract, then they're also really interested in seeing that. So they pretty much want to see everything that you have going on, your achievements, so that they can consider everything holistically and increase your chances of getting in and also getting aid. That's pretty much it for Williams College for undergrad. If you're interested, go ahead and check out the information on their website, which I will link below. You can feel free to go ahead and research about the college and make sure that you have everything figured out, and then you can go ahead and apply. Now I'm going to talk about the masters. I'm not going to go too far into it, just because, like I said, this video is not really focused on masters, and it's also only 2 masters, so I don't want to make it the subject of the video. However, they have 2 masters at Williams College. It's the Masters in History of Arts and Masters in Policy Economics. So yeah, for the History of Arts, they do have full tuition waivers available, and this full tuition waiver also comes with stipends, health insurance, relocation expenses. So for getting the financial aid package, they consider your needs as well as your merits. So it's not just by needs, it's also by merits, just like the undergrad. So make sure you check it out if you're interested. Then also for the Masters in Policy Economics, it looks like that one doesn't really have the kind of aid that the History of Arts gets. It's more like, you apply for scholarships, and they really recommend applying for external scholarships that kind of apply. So on their website, they have a list of scholarships that you can look into for the Masters in Policy Economics. However, they also offer like their own scholarships to students for this masters, but they say that like they mostly give scholarships to those who also really pursue external scholarships. So pretty much it's not as firm as the history of arts, but it also exists. It still exists. There's still aid, there's still scholarship. So you know, it's better than not trying at all. If you're really interested in it, go check it out. If you know someone that's interested in it, make sure you tell them about it, because you know, the person might really be able to get through with it. So you just never know without trying. Yes, I've said enough. Anyways, it's been nice coming on here to share with you guys all this information. I'll always be looking out for more information to share with you guys. And if you have any question, like always, don't hesitate to ask me in the comment section below. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video.